AI moving so fast, right? Like, can it actually do science now? I mean, real science, the kind that gets scrutinized by other scientists.
Yeah, we're way past the hypothetical stage on that one. There's this new AI system. It's called the AI Scientist V2. And get this, it wrote a whole scientific paper. And it got through peer review.
At a pretty legit AI conference too, right?
Exactly. A workshop connected to ICLR 2025. The researchers who built the AI say this is the first time a fully AI-generated paper's done that. Like, no human editing at all.
That's huge for anyone trying to keep up with tech. So, like, why should we care? Is this just AI crunching numbers faster?
It's way bigger than that. Think about it.
Yeah.
What if AI could explore scientific questions on its own? It could totally change how we discover things in all sorts of fields.
So that's what we're diving into today, right? This whole AI scientist thing.
Yeah, we're going deep on this experiment. What did they do? What does it mean? And what are the researchers saying about where this all goes? We're sticking to their own account, by the way.
All right, so what exactly did they do with this AI scientist V2?
So they had this AI system, and they wanted to see, could it make a paper good enough to pass peer review, the standard process in science?
Like, that's the big test, right? If other scientists think it's legit.
Exactly. And they were really clear. This had to be 100% AI generated, start to finish, no human tweaking.
Okay, so how'd they test it? Did they just send it off to a journal?
They targeted a workshop at ICLR 2025. They submitted 3 different papers, all AI generated. Now, the reviewers knew some submissions might be AI, 3 out of 43.
Oh, so they were on the lookout, kinda?
Well, they knew some could be AI, but not which ones. It was still blind review, just with that little heads up.
Interesting. So when you say the AI made these papers end to end, what's that really mean?
It means the AI did everything. Came up with a research question, the hypothesis, designed the experiments, wrote the code to run them, analyzed the data, made all the visuals like graphs.
Wow. And then, like, wrote it all up.
Yep, title, abstract, the whole 9 yards, references, formatting, the works. No human touch at all on the content.
So they just gave the AI a topic and said, go. What topic was it?
The topic had to do with, like, the limits of deep learning.
Which makes sense for an AI conference, right? Deep learning's a big deal in AI.
For sure. And focusing on the limits meant the AI could explore real-world challenges in the field. So yeah, the topic fit the workshop's theme.
And they submitted 3. How'd they pick which 3 out of all the ones the AI made?
Oh, they weren't random. The researchers themselves looked at all the papers and chose what they thought were the best 3, the ones with the most potential. They wanted variety in the approaches and, good quality overall.
So one of them got in. What was that paper about?
The title was Compositional Regularization: Unexpected Obstacles in Enhancing Neural Network Generalization. Big words, right?
Yeah.
Break that down for us. So neural network generalization is like how well an AI can handle new data it wasn't trained on. The AI was trying to improve this generalization with some new techniques, but it hit a wall. It didn't get better.
So the paper basically said, we tried this and it didn't work. That's kind of weird, right? Usually science is all about success.
Right. But here's the thing. Knowing what doesn't work is super important too. Like, it stops people wasting time on dead ends.
True, true. So what did the human reviewers think of the paper? Were they impressed?
They gave it decent scores. One gave it a 6, another a 7, and another 6. So that's an average of 6.33. The researchers said that put it in the top 45% of all submissions.
So above average.
Yeah, and above the threshold to get accepted at the workshop.
That's crazy. So an AI wrote a better than average paper, but it didn't actually get published.
No, that was part of the plan. They withdrew it before publication. The researchers thought it was important to do the experiment, see if it was possible.
But they didn't want to just, like, unleash AI papers on the world.
Right, they think there needs to be more discussion first. Set some ground rules.
Okay, I get that. What about meta review? That's where, like, senior people check the reviews, right? Does this paper go through that?
Nah, because they pulled the paper, the workshop skipped the meta review.
So it's possible, even with good scores, it might not have made it through?
Theoretically, yeah. The workshop organizers still had final say.
Got it. Let's switch gears a bit. How did the researchers handle the whole ethics thing?
Oh, they were super upfront about it.
Oh.
They talked to the people running ICLR, the workshop organizers, even got approval from their university's IRB, Institutional Review Board. They make sure research is ethical. So, yeah, that's a transparency.
Did they post the papers online, like on Open Review?
Nope, not this time.
Yeah.
Again, because it was an experiment and they were going to withdraw it anyway, they decided to hold back on making them public.
Makes sense. They were talking about the need for some rules about AI-generated science. What kind of stuff?
They want clear guidelines on how researchers should say, hey, This paper was made by AI, whether it was fully AI or partly, and when should they say it, during submission or later.
That's tricky, right? Like, how much AI involvement is too much before you got to be super clear about it.
Yeah, totally. And they're also worried about AI being used just to game the system, to pump out papers that sound good but aren't really contributing anything new.
That would defeat the whole point of peer review, right? It's not just about getting published, it's about making sure the science is solid.
Exactly.
So, let's get real. This was cool, but it wasn't a perfect win, right?
Definitely not. First off, this was a workshop, not the main ICLR conference.
Those are different.
Big time. Workshops are less strict, more for early stage work. Main conferences are way more competitive.
And only 1 out of the 3 papers got in.
Right, so even the AI isn't batting 1,000 yet.
And didn't the researchers themselves find some problems?
Yeah, they did their own internal review, pretending to be reviewers for the main ICLR conference, which has, way higher standards. And guess what? They decided none of the 3 AI papers were good enough for the main conference.
Wow, so even they were like, needs more work.
Pretty much. To give you an idea, the main conferences, like ICLR, accept maybe 20–30% of what's submitted. Workshops are more like 60–70%. So this was a good first step, but there's a long way to go.
They also said this whole AI scientist thing relies on other AIs, right?
Absolutely. Uses large language models. As those get better, the AI scientists should get better too.
So it's all connected. Even when the AI is doing science, it's still building on other AI.
For sure.
So they weren't totally happy with the papers for the main conference, but they still thought the workshop paper was worth something, right? Like, it had good ideas.
Yeah, they were positive about it. They said it had interesting early stage stuff, perfect for a workshop. They even did a full review, like they would for a main conference paper, with feedback and scores.
Trying to, train the AI.
Exactly. They wanted to identify weak spots and help it improve.
Any specific examples of things they found?
Yeah, one thing was a wrong citation. The AI credited the wrong people with inventing this thing called the LSTM network. A pretty basic mistake, actually.
Whoops. So even fancy AI can mess up the basics.
Happens to the best of us, right?
True enough. Did they check anything else besides the writing?
They did code review, basically making sure the AI's experiments made sense and could be replicated, that other scientists could get the same results.
Good science practice, even for robots.
Exactly. And they had the AI rerun its experiments a bunch of times to make sure the results were consistent.
Thorough. So, big picture, what are these researchers thinking about the future of AI in science? Do they think it's going to take over?
They're definitely excited. They think this whole thing's just getting started. They even predict AI will be writing papers for top conferences and top journals in all sorts of fields, not just AI.
That's wild. AI writing for nature or science.
They think it could happen.
So what's the end goal? Just having AIs churn out tons of papers?
Nope, they're focused on the bigger picture, like how AI can help humanity. New cures for diseases, better understanding of the universe, that kind of stuff.
So AI as a tool for good, not just a paper writing machine. All right, listener, if you've stuck with us this long, here's the takeaway. An AI has written a scientific paper that passed peer review. That's never happened before, at least according to these researchers.
It's a big step, but you got to remember, this was a workshop, not the big leagues, and only 1 paper out of 3 got in. Plus, the researchers had their own doubts.
So it's progress, but it ain't Skynet writing scientific breakthroughs just yet.
For sure. But it does make you wonder, how is AI going to change science? How will it change how we learn and what we know about the world?
If you're the kind of person who likes to dig deep, the researchers put their own reviews and all 3 AI papers on their GitHub. Go check it out, form your own opinions.
This whole AI and science thing is just getting going. It's going to be really interesting to see where it goes.